Have you ever wondered about the original Night Stalker before he slipped through locked doors without making a single sound? Investigators struggled to connect crimes happening hundreds of miles apart. Early detectives chased dead ends while the trail grew cold. Creepy, silent phone calls terrorized victims long after the attacks. Witness descriptions produced wildly different, confusing police composite sketches. Investigators preserved precious biological evidence, hoping for future technology. The media accidentally named him after another famous killer. For decades, the dusty case files sat completely untouched. An invisible monster remained hidden right in plain sight. By late 1979, the silent predator migrated to Southern California. He targeted quiet neighborhoods in Goleta, striking couples in their beds. This transition marked a terrifying escalation from assault to cold-blooded murder. He bound his victims using complex, military-grade diamond knots. In Ventura, he killed a prominent lawyer and his wife. The killer used heavy logs found in the victims' yards. Months later, he struck a medical student and his wife. Investigators found distinct tennis shoe prints outside the window. In Irvine, he broke in while the husband was hospitalized. Separate jurisdictions failed to link these crimes for decades. By late 1979, the silent predator migrated south to Santa Barbara. In Goleta, he targeted couples inside their quiet suburban homes. His tactics turned deadly, shifting from assault to blunt force murder. In March 1980, he struck next in Ventura, California. Investigators found complex diamond knots tying the victim's wrists. He moved south again, striking a home in Dana Point. Orange County police struggled to find any physical clues left behind. After a 5-year silence, one final tragedy struck in Irvine. Back then, separate police jurisdictions rarely shared crime data. Southern California media quickly dubbed this elusive killer the original Night. In late 1979, the silent predator slipped into Southern California. He targeted a quiet condominium in Goleta, claiming 2 lives. Investigators found unusual, intricate diamond knots tying the victim's wrists. Months later, he struck Ventura, killing a prominent local lawyer. Police struggled to connect these Southern California crimes to Sacramento. In Laguna Niguel, another young couple died in their bed. He terrorized Irvine next, leaving behind a signature trail of fear. Then, the elusive killer suddenly vanished for 5 long years. In 1986, he emerged once more for his final tragedy. Without DNA technology, these cold cases remained completely separate mysteries. By late 1979, the terror silently shifted to Southern California. The intruder upgraded his tactics from assault to cold-blooded murder. In Goleta, a couple died inside their quiet suburban home. Investigators found unique, complex rope knots tying the victims. Months later, Ventura police discovered another couple slain upstairs. The killer used heavy wooden logs taken from the yard. Dana Point became the next target just 5 months later. An Irvine home invasion in 1980. One claimed another life. Then, the elusive predator suddenly vanished for 5 long years. Without DNA testing, detectives couldn't prove these crimes matched. In late 1979, the silent predator relocated to Southern California. He targeted couples in quiet, upscale neighborhoods like Goleta. His crimes escalated from assault to brutal, planned homicides. Southern California media dubbed this mysterious killer the Night Stalker. Decades later, they added the word original to prevent confusion. Investigators struggled because local police departments rarely shared case files. Without DNA profiling, nobody connected these crimes to Sacramento. In 1986, the elusive killer claimed his final known victim. Then, the terrifying crime spree abruptly stopped without explanation. He vanished, leaving behind cold cases and a terrified public. The intruder slipped south, targeting quiet neighborhoods in Southern California. His attacks grew deadlier, shifting from sexual assault to murder. In Goleta, he claimed his first Southern victims inside their home. Investigators found unique military boot prints left in the dirt. Months later, another couple died in affluent Laguna Niguel. He dialed victims' numbers, breathing heavily into the receiver. Police files grew thicker than phone books, but yielded no leads. Then, the elusive predator suddenly vanished for 5 long years. He struck one last time in 1986, then stopped. Southern California's Phantom Killer remained a terrifying, unsolved mystery. By late 1979, the shadow shifted south to Santa Barbara. Here, the intruder escalated his terror from assault to murder. A couple in Golta became his first known southern victims. Local police didn't realize the Sacramento predator had relocated. He struck next in Ventura, leaving signature diamond knot bindings. These brutal crimes baffled local detectives, who worked in isolation. Hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to get updates. Orange County neighborhoods soon faced the same terrifying night intruder. In 1986, his final tragic attack occurred in Irvine. The elusive killer vanished, leaving behind a cold, unsolved mystery. The terror migrated south to quiet Southern California neighborhoods. He targeted couples in their homes, leaving no survivors. Media dubbed him the original Night Stalker to prevent confusion. Then, in 1986, the terrifying attacks suddenly stopped completely. For decades, detectives stared at cold files with no answers. DNA profiling eventually emerged as a powerful new forensic tool. In 2001, DNA linked the Northern and Southern California crimes. Investigators realized one elusive monster committed both waves of terror. Yet, his name and face remained a complete mystery. This chilling revelation sparked a massive, renewed statewide manhunt. The predator slipped south, targeting quiet neighborhoods in Golta. In Southern California, his terrifying attacks turned permanently lethal. Investigators found unique, complex rope knots at the scenes. He often used heavy tools found on the properties. Orange County suburbs offered easy escape routes near freeways. An Irvine attack in 1980, one left detectives completely baffled. Then, the elusive killer suddenly went silent for years. He struck one final time in Irvine during 1986. Local police forces worked these cases as isolated incidents. These unsolved files sat in cardboard boxes for decades. In 1979, the silent predator relocated to Southern California. He targeted couples in Golta, changing his previous pattern completely. In Ventura, he murdered a prominent lawyer and his wife. Investigators found a unique, complex diamond knot at the scene. Months later, he struck again in the quiet Dana Point. Police struggled to connect these crimes across different county jurisdictions. A fifth attack in Irvine left detectives completely baffled. Then, the mysterious killer suddenly vanished for 5 whole years. He returned in 1986 for one final, tragic assault. Without modern DNA testing, these cases remained chillingly unsolved. By 1986, the elusive killer suddenly vanished from Southern California. For decades, investigators stared at cold files with no answers. Then, DNA testing in 2001 linked these separate cases together. They realized one single monster terrorized the entire Golden State. The FBI launched a massive national campaign to find him. Detectives uploaded ancient crime scene DNA to public genealogy websites. Detectives hunted the killer using family trees, like high-stakes ancestry homework. This digital dragnet slowly closed in on an unsuspecting suburb. Decades of terror finally ended with a sudden, quiet arrest. That practical change soon reached ordinary daily life.